So now the question that intrigues everybody: all the Anglo-Indians who left India and gone to seek better life in
Yes.
foreign countries, do they have any connections with the Anglo-Indians who are still back in India, or is it like they're another world and you guys are another world?
No, they do, in the sense that some of them have relations here.
Oh,
Who
sure.
are not
I'm sure
doing
they
so
have.
well. So those people do have connections. And then there are friends. Like I have many friends, some of my school friends, high school friends.
Who emigrated in
and most of them are abroad. There's only one in India.
And do they have any railway memories? Because that's what I want to come to. I mean, most of them have the same
Yes,
background.
they
so to
do.
say.
In fact, the recent book that we published, Footprints on the Track, you'll find some articles by people who worked in the railways over here.
And then
who are still working in the railways there. Some of them,
really,
joined the Australian railways.
Okay,
say the Melbourne railway.
That would be interesting to see what what they have to say about the Indian railways in keeping the Australian railways in mind. What would be the stunning differences? That would be interesting.
Except that the Indian railway is a very vast network.
True.
Even in a zone,
Australia
you have
is
so
a
many
much
trains.
bigger country.
It's a bigger country, but then there are parts of Australia which are, uninhabited. You have hardly anything, and you could have a railway train, going through that section.
So when two Anglo-Indian families meet, let's say, both know that they've come from India at some point, would they ever bring out where they came from? Which, like, when I say came from, I know the India, but do they are from Calcutta, or I'm from Kerala, or from Tamil Nadu, Trichy, whatever places they emigrated from? Would they ever mention that?
Yes, I think it does. They would mention it because, they would always like to reminisce,
Yes.
So they do tend to talk about old times and, how they enjoyed life in India and who's left there now and all those kind of things. So they would exchange these, family queries.
I heard a very interesting thing a little while ago saying that even when they had dances, one group wouldn't too easily muck into the other. The dances happening in the other area. Of course, they got married to each other.
There's some, I told you in Melbourne, there's a very large Anglo-Indian presence.
Yes.
But you have Anglo-Indians from all over India.
Okay.
You have some from Madras, Trichy. They have their own group. And you have some from Calcutta. They have their own group.
Okay.
And then some...
But it surely can't be identifiable by name or even by features. You all look the same, have similar names.
Yes.
So what is it that sets them apart?
No, it's just the get-togethers, they even call it something like this, like the Madras group, for example, or the Trichy group, when they want to raise funds, they call it a Koba dance, Campion Old Boys Association, sort of thing like that.
Okay.
So then you're going for a Koba dance with these people, and then it's usually in a certain part, like they have the Trichy people, they would have their dances in Noble Park in Melbourne.
All right.
But the Calcutta group would have theirs in
some other...
Yes, Sir Arthur Wren Hall or something, a different place altogether.
Okay, that's it. It's interesting to hear they still maintain those.
I found Anglo-Indians in the UK.
Yeah.
I've also been there, and every Sunday, after the Sunday service or Mass or whatever you call it, they get together for a game of bingo. She used to call Rosie.
Yes.
And I was a visitor. I went with one of my friends who was staying in England for a long time. So I was a little bit, I said, how would they let me? And he said, you don't worry, you're coming with me. So we went there, and there was a chap with the book, kind of register. And he looked at me, he said, what's your name? So I said, Noel Thomas. He said, write your name and pay 50p, 50 pence, you see.
Okay.
And that's all. He walked in, and then, bingo started. And in between, they have their drinks. They even have a curry and rice break.
All right.
But there, at that session, there were people from all over India. But here again, they sat table-wise. Now, I said, I want to meet a certain chap, Joe Hendricks.
Okay.
And they said, where was he from?
So
I said he was from, Kharagpur, Calcutta. Look at the Kharagpur table. They said, he may be sitting there. Table number so and so. So there's a Kharagpur table.
So it's not all bad memories you want to blot out of their mind. There's some good stuff too.
Yes, there is a lot of good stuff.
And they still keep in touch. Do their children ever visit?
They do. They do visit. We have also these Anglo-Indian reunions that take place every 3 years. Okay. The last one was in Calcutta.
All right.
But the sad thing is, that people come. Not only very few of the younger group come.
Yeah, you can't blame
Very
them.
few of the younger, because they can't relate to all these things.
Exactly.
But even the elders who come, most of them come only to reminisce, not to roost. There's nobody who comes and says that I want to stay back here.
I can't imagine that happening.
So,
do they even privately say that they would like to come to roost, or they just they've done it and they don't want to come back?
I think privately, there would be some.
Yeah, I guess happy memories are always there of childhood. So, and meeting your old friends.
That's right.
So, how old would be the oldest Anglo-Indians now living outside? I mean, what would be their age?
Well, I know there are two people I know. One in England who's 95, and another in Sydney who's 93.
So he must have been what, 30 years old during independence or something like that? 95, and we are now 60 something. Yeah.
Yes, he must have been about that.
Yeah. So do you have any children overseas?
Yes, I do. My eldest daughter is in Melbourne.
Okay.
She's a teacher. And the second one is a doctor in Manchester. She's in the UK.
So
the third one is
you have to go to, as they say about the mountains and Muhammad, you have to go to meet them. I don't see them coming over so often, do they?
Yes, I go, but it's more, my wife who's more in demand, because she has a role there, mother, grandmother.
Oh,
so
yes.
I go, but
You're
I get
just the man who comes and says, "Where's my whiskey?"
And after, 15 days or a month or something, I get fidgety. I want to come back.
Well,
because
that's the way life is. Thomas, Mr. Noel Thomas, been lovely having you over. And I said we should probably meet and hoist a drink between us also. Not only for your Anglo-Indian friends from overseas. Thank you for coming.
That would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you.